What's going on, guys? CardMechanic here, and today I'm going to be teaching you a very fancy flourish. Let's do it. So breaking this down, there are two aspects to this flourish. One is the left hand and the other is the right hand. So we're going to break down one hand at a time. So we'll start with the left hand, the actions the left hand is doing, and then we'll start with the right hand and we'll put them both together. So we start off with the deck in our left hand. Of course, since I'm a righty, I put the deck in my left hand. Start off with the deck in my left hand and I push over the top card and I grab it with my right hand. So in the beginning, that's all the action the left hand's going to do. Okay? That's all you're doing. And now with the rest of the left hand, let's pretend the right hand's not in the picture, it's holding the card for now. What you're going to do with the left hand is you're going to take this card, this top card here, and you're going to start moving it up and to the left, right? So from your view, it'll move from up and to the left like this. Okay, you're holding it right here in dealer's grip. You'll move up and to the left, so the card is kind of coming off of the rest of the deck. Now once you get the card in this position, you're going to move your pointer finger downward. So instead of the pointer finger making contact with the bottom of the deck here, you're just going to move it down. And at this point, you're going to start turning the deck so you can start rotating this card around the deck. Okay, so it's going to look like something like this. But you're still using your thumb to rotate. You're moving your thumb from here horizontal to vertical. So you're going from here to here. You start turning the deck around. And remember, you move this finger, right? You move this finger. This card is going to come here. Okay, so now it's going to lie flat, perpendicular to the deck. Okay, so now from here, right? You slide off a card, and you start shifting here. Turn this over like this. And now you're going to make contact. Your pointer finger should be clear from this card, and you're going to make contact of this face down card that's perpendicular to the rest of the face up deck. Okay, so now that we're here, we're going to release. Since we're going to be pressing down with our pointer finger, and the way we're gripping the rest of the deck is with our ring finger and our pinky finger. Okay, our middle finger is also going to come up. This will allow the card to become perpendicular, otherwise it's going to be tilted a little bit. So you want both these fingers to come up. And now what you're going to do, you're going to let go with your thumb. You have your pointer finger pressing down on the card. And you're going to start moving the pointer finger towards the edge of the deck. Now of course you can't really see this from this view, but if I remove this card here, you're moving your pointer finger from here to there. Okay, now putting this card back in, it's moving from here to there, so it starts turning around the deck again. And now once this happens, you turn the deck straight back up again, right? So in the motion of doing this, you're also going to take your middle finger that you have hanging out here, and you're also going to use that to push the card onto the deck. Okay, so going through the whole thing slowly one time, we start with the thumb, rotate the deck around, clear your pointer finger, clear your middle finger, let go with your thumb, put your pointer finger to use, start pushing the card to the other side of the deck, and once the card has been, pushed onto that side of the deck, start turning this deck back around. Use your middle finger and your pointer finger to guide that card back on top of the deck. Okay, so up to speed, it's going to look like that. Now of course it doesn't really look too cool, but when you start throwing in some wrist motions along with hand motions, you'll see it starts to look a lot cooler. Okay, now I recommend when you're doing this, practice in front of a mirror to see exactly how to move your hand, how to tilt the deck, and then you can see exactly what looks cool, what looks stupid, and what doesn't look. So once more time, that's all there is to it. And the wrist movement, as you can see that I do, is turn it around this way, move the card over again, move my wrist back over, and then of course if you add the hand movement, I move it from here to there. That's all I'm doing. Just using my elbow, moving it from here to back. right? So in the movement from straight towards my body, I turn the deck upside down, and the card comes up. And the movement from my body back out, I turn the deck back over. Oh, that was not supposed to fall out, but boom and boom. Okay, so that's pretty much all that's going on with the left hand. Now, breaking down the right hand, we started off by passing one card to the right hand, and we're just going to forget about the rest of the deck. So we finished that part, we're moving on to this part. Now we're going to perform a move that's similar to what's known as the flicker. It's actually like half the flicker itself. And it has been created by Diverts, and I'll put a link in the description down below so you can check that video out for a full nice tutorial. But I'll just give you a quick summary of how I'm using it. So now we're starting off with the card in our right hand here, and we're going to pinch the card between our pointer finger and our thumb and hold it right towards the center. Now what we're going to do, we're going to move our pointer finger inwards towards our hand, and this will allow the card to go from this flat to a tilted. Now once the cards get tilted, we're going to come over with our middle finger and reach over and grab the top part of the card like this. And we're going to apply pressure with our pointer finger upwards, our middle finger downwards, and we're going to remove our thumb. So it'll come out like this, right? So the card's going to flick up. You're going to extend these two fingers, and actually you could extend your whole hand. And you're also going to turn your wrist over, okay? So it's going to look like this. That's all you're doing, this. Okay, now it may look very flashy, but it's actually not really, hard to do. And all I'm doing from here is I'm getting the card back to this start position. So you're here, you want to pretty much straighten it out. So go from here to there. And now once you're here, you're going to take your thumb and put it near the middle finger. And from here, you're just going to go back to the starting position where you have your pointer finger on bottom and your thumb on top, right? So one more time, the entire right hand. You go here, turn your wrist while doing that, straighten, grab with your thumb, and come back over, right? So that's all you're doing, right? Nothing too crazy, but it looks pretty cool when it's done, right? So of course, if I was not moving my hand, it would just look like this, but or not moving my arm, it would just look like this. But if you're using the entire motion of your arm, then it looks even better. All right. So we've gotten from here to here, and this is where we're going to put everything together, right? So now again, the left hand is going to go from like this to like this. The right hand is going to go from like this to like this. Okay, so that's it. Boom, boom. And now the last thing to do is launch this card over from the right hand to the left hand, which will just look like that. So now the move where you flick this card from one hand to the rest of the deck is known as instant replay. And I've done a great tutorial on that, really in depth. I'll put that in the link in the description, and I'll put that on the screen because I highly recommend you guys to watch it if you want to be able to do this correctly without, and if you can't learn from a short explanation from this video. Okay, so now getting into a short explanation, you've done this, you've come here. Now you're going to be holding the card again in the starting position that you initially got it. You're going to move the pointer finger over again, right? So the starting is similar to how we do the right hand. And we're going to move our middle finger on top here. But instead of applying pressure in both areas and letting go with the thumb, we're going to move the thumb to the side. Okay, so we're going to come here and move the thumb to the side. And once the thumb is to the side, we're going to apply pressure. We're going to apply a lot of pressure here with your pointer finger. And when you apply a lot of pressure and release with the thumb, you'll see that the card flies over. Okay? And so you're going to have to figure out how to apply the right kind of pressure. You're also going to have to hold the card on a tilt. Right? Now, I can't really tell you the amount of pressure to apply because I don't know how to measure that. But, you have the cards like this. I would also recommend you to put your ring finger right next to your middle finger to give the card more guidance and more stability. And that's pretty much all you're doing. Okay? You're like this, thumb is here, this is here. And it would also be a lot easier, instead of doing this directly in the middle, do it a bit towards the thumb. So you're here, holding it on a tilt, and and the card will flip. Now, of course, you want it to flip over completely like that instead of how it was flipping. Okay, now I can't do it the wrong way. Instead of flipping like that. So to solve that problem, when you're doing this, instead of doing it directly at the level, which may be difficult at first, you want to start a bit above. So this way it gives the card enough time to twirl twice instead of only twirling once. Okay, and that is pretty much it. If you put the whole thing together, here's what it is. Quick breakdown: you pass the card over, move the left hand and doing the thing with it, a right hand and doing that thing with it. Well, that's not really specific at all. You come back over, and I couldn't do that in slow motion, so you're just gonna have to deal with that. Right, so that's pretty much how it looks. That's all you're doing. And you know, the more you do it, the more comfortable you're gonna get. Wow, that was terrible. The more you do it, the more comfortable you're gonna get. And yeah, the easier it's gonna be. And it looks really cool if you go out and do it for people. So that is pretty much it. And that pretty much wraps up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to check out my social media links down in the description below for all my status updates. And I will see you in my next video. Welcome to the end screen. If you liked the video, make sure to hit that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe, because subscribing is good. Thanks for watching.